Anti-Form is an entirely different beast in this mod, so let's start from the basics and work our way up. First off, we need to go over Anti-Form's existence as a whole. Normally, you are randomly transformed into it when you try to use a dry form, but this feature has been completely removed. Instead, you will now obtain Anti-Form from Absent Silhouette Vexen, and using the reaction command he gives you will let you fight him with Anti-Form, allowing for some information prompts to be printed for advice. But that's for those folks that don't watch the guides for info, and you're not one of those if you're hearing this audio. Good stuff. Anyways, Anti-Form will always be at the bottom of the drive menu once you obtain it, and will require 5 drive gates to use if you're not on challenge mode. However, exiting the drive form will leave you at 0 no matter what if you're not on challenge mode, because this game really hates Anti-Form. So you may as well commit. If you're on challenge mode, wielding Oathkeeper will allow you to revert from Anti-Form with L2, so build for it in preparation if you want to not be forced to use it for the whole fight. The last passive change is regarding its defense. Anti-Form normally takes double damage in this game, but I have set it to only receive the damage you would have normally taken as base Sora. Now then, on to the actual moveset mechanics. Anti-Form boasts faster combo windows and cancels, with free movement tacked onto pretty much everything. There are many cancels, but a very notable one we'll start with is antiglide. Holding square during any of your attacks or movement will activate antiglide, which has also been updated. You can cancel with attacks as soon as it finishes moving backward, and redirect it by keeping the left analog stick tilted in a direction. Not only this, you can use it in the air, and it has very generous iframes until you end it. Getting used to this is going to be crucial for survivability. Do note that if you don't move the left analog stick at all, Anti-Form will glide toward your target instead, so you can reliably approach with this too. Grounded attacks can be cancelled at the combo opportunity simply by moving or jumping. With how fast Anti-Form's base movement is, don't underestimate the act of just running away as an escape tool. Now then, Anti-Form fucking sucked, despite how cool the entire aesthetic is. Because of this, I had to retool its entire kit and game plan from the ground up. I'll start with the very nature of the attack command. Using the typical attack button swaps Anti-Form's actions only between its basic moves, whether this is on the ground or in the air, and is not actually part of a combo system anymore. This is because the rest of Anti-Form's moves have been tied to other inputs, and this is where the real fun begins. Before we go any further, I will be referring to the moves you see on screen as follows. This is Dark Vortex, triggered by triangle. This is 100 Claws, triggered by right stick up. This is Shadow Frenzy, triggered by right stick left. This is Shadow Maul, triggered by right stick right. This is Enshrouding Dark Cloud, triggered by right stick down. No, these names are not official, and no, I don't care. All of these inputs can be activated at any time during your basic attacks or during anti-glide, and will retain your previous momentum if you do this. This includes being able to activate these special inputs while another one of them is in use, with the only rule being the same attack cannot be chained with itself. Using most of these special inputs consumes some of Anti-Form's MP, with the rate being as follows. 100 Claws consumes 15 MP, Shadow Frenzy consumes 10 MP, Shadow Maul consumes 10 MP, Enshrouding Dark Cloud consumes 5 MP. Each of the special inputs also have their own combo opportunities to return to the basic attacks, despite not being a part of the combo system anymore. The relevance of this is important. Basic attacks are what allow Anti-Form to gain height if you're attacking a target above it. They completely break its momentum if you need to stop in front of a target, and their hits will also restore Anti-Sora's MP with an accompanying visual glow, depending on the type of hit landed. Basic single hits restore 8 MP per hit, strong single hits restore 12 MP per hit, multi-hits restore 4 MP per hit, and extreme multi-hits restore 0 MP per hit. Additionally, if you don't want to attack for MP, using Anti-Glide restores MP the longer it is active. If Anti-Form runs out of MP, the special inputs become unusable except for Dark Vortex on triangle, and Anti-Glide on square. So you'll have to learn to manage your MP gauge for this drive form. Be careful not to run out, you can't finish boss fights or armor-pierced foes without it. Finally, all the special inputs have a special ground interaction. If you begin using them from the ground and not the air, using the jump button at the combo opportunity will cancel them early. Now then, I'm going to get into some individual changes for the attacks. First off, some hitboxes have been changed. The hitbox changes are as follows. Anti-Form's Breakdance now critically knocks the target down on the drop kick. The basic ground gap closer no longer shoots past the target. The basic air gap closer will knock out the target on the final hit. The basic air spin has a slightly delayed initial hitbox, but will knock up enemies slightly higher when it does hit. The final hit of Enshrouding Dark Cloud now occurs much sooner, so Anti-Form has more time to use special inputs or basic attacks after. Dark Vortex has the only context-sensitive hitbox in the entire mod. When attacking on the ground, it's just a normal weak hit. However, when attacking in the air, it actually critically knocks down the target, allowing you to bring them back down to the ground if you want to do combos down there. The special input attacks, with the exception of Dark Vortex and Enshrouding Dark Cloud, no longer treat their final hits as darkness type. So Anti-Form can actually kill bosses that are immune to darkness, like Xaddgx. Now, normally I don't pause these informative guides to just flat out give you combat advice, but this is a lot of information to take in and try to master. So I'm going to give you some actual pointers instead of leaving you hanging out to dry, and then I'll resume talking about the additions. Anti-Form's basic attacks are the only things that will give you height without actually knocking up the target really high. So if your target is above you, you need to mix these in. Bear in mind though that nothing is stopping you from immediately using a special input in the middle of the height game. Dark Vortex not only knocks down the target in the air, but it's just a really easy way to get yourself down to the ground too, regardless of if you hit your target. 100 Claws actually has an insane amount of parry frames. Both Shadow Frenzy and Shadow Ball make Anti-Form completely invincible in the moments where he is moving around, so perfectly timing these in unison with Antiglide allows for some great survivability. Enshrouding Dark Cloud is a great disjointed hitbox with a wide range, especially on targets below you. All of these special inputs, except Dark Vortex, are powerful enough to armor-pierce foes, so don't be afraid to challenge attacks between your evasion if something like Base Sora's Counter Guard would work on it. You may be surprised what you win against. Okay, back to teaching you. Anti-Form's revenge value system has been completely reworked. All of Anti-Form's attacks have been changed at 0.125 revenge value per hit, the exact same amount across its moveset. This means that you won't be punished for inputting certain attacks over others, and you can fully freestyle your combos without worry that you're adding too much of a specific move. Unfortunately, enabling reaction commands on Anti-Form isn't so simple, due to the fact that something in the game is coded to disable reaction commands on every single frame while you're in Anti-Form. What the fuck? My hacky fix for this was to disable the reaction command appearance functionality when you attack or taunt, thus stopping the reaction command from disappearing. Reaction commands will only appear when not attacking or taunting, but once held in memory like this, you can perform the reaction command previously generated. To say it in plain English, this means you need to idly wait until a reaction command appears, then mash triangle while attacking, or taunt and then press triangle. Unfortunately, reaction commands that appear as combos do not work with this method, but hey, Anti-Form can ride a skateboard now. Anti-Form has a new attack that I went the extra mile for, intended to aid in survivability and provide a unique flair. By pressing R2 while not attacking, this activates Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger changes everything in the game to half speed except Anti-Form, heals Anti-Form when hitting an enemy, increase in multiple get hit, slows Anti-Form's basic movement but not his anti-glide, cancels only when you attack, has armor pierce on the hit, has some parry frames on it, consumes 10 MP to use, and adds 1 RV, unlike all the other moves Anti-Form has. Anti-Form also has the only context-sensitive taunt in the mod. When airborne, it will hang off nothing, and pressing R2 will activate Chrono Trigger during it. You can also drift during this without the animation being cancelled. When on the ground, it will stop erratically moving and just crouch. Pressing R2 during this will unleash the breakdance attack. Keep in mind that in both contexts, Dark Vortex and Anti-Glide are usable, but not the other special inputs. Anti-Form also has 2 hold combo systems, one for R2 and one for the attack button. We'll start with R2. R2 enables hold combo shadowboxing. By keeping R2 held at attack startup, the following attacks will endlessly loop their beginnings until it is released. Basic ground scratches, basic ground gap closer, basic air spin, basic air gap closer, Dark Vortex, and finally the basic ground breakdance, including the one used with R2 after taunts. This also has 2 triggers, one for the spinning legs and the other for its final 3 hits. Attack enables hold combo Shadow Rush. By keeping the attack button held at attack startup, the following attacks will skip to their final hits, refunding any MP costs if they had one. Basic ground gap closer, Basic ground breakdance, including the one used with R2 after taunts. Basic air spin. Basic air gap closer. Shadow maul. And finally, 100 claws. This concludes the Anti-Form V2 guide. Thank Christ. Anti-Form was always playing a completely different game than everything else in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I wanted to make it so you're playing a completely different game that you can actually win. This is probably the Muso with the most freedom in its combos I've ever made, and hopefully people don't write it off despite how different it is, because you really do have the capability to defeat a lot of things in this game with just Anti-Form now. Now, let's see what happens when you master the darkness!